Hello again, friends. Please enjoy listening to this story. Title: Am I the A for threatening divorce after my wife quit her job to be a tradwife? I don't even know where to begin with this. I'm 34M, my wife is 33F, and we have 2 kids, 11M and 9F. We've been together for 12 years and married for 8. About a year ago, my wife started sending me a lot of TikToks about being a tradwife or traditional housewife. I don't have anything against that, but it doesn't make sense for our current family situation. I earn more than my wife and enough to support us all, but I don't see the need. I work 80%, she works 50%, and between us, one of us is always home for the kids. I could work 100% and let her be a stay-at-home mom, but with both kids in school, it feels unnecessary. She became increasingly insistent over the past 2 months. I kept telling her there's no need, and asked what she'd do while the kids are at school. Our house doesn't need 6 hours of cleaning daily. She would try to sweeten the deal by promising dinners ready every day and other perks. I reminded her that our current setup works perfectly fine. 2 weeks ago, we had a heated argument about it, and she stopped being intimate with me, trying to show me what I'd be missing. She's been treating me like a roommate since. I thought she'd get over it, but I was wrong. Yesterday, I came home to a bunch of presents on the dining table. At first, I thought they were for me since my birthday is next week, but they were addressed to my wife. One letter said, "It was a pleasure working with you and I wish you all the best." I thought it was a prank. My wife then casually walked in and, seeing my anger, told me, "You'll get over it." I lost it. I left without a word and went to my parents' house. I feel completely disrespected. Why would my wife think it's okay to quit her job without discussing it with me? She's been bombarding me with texts and calls, demanding to know where I am and saying the kids miss me. I told her to find a lawyer because I was done, and then I blocked her. My son sent me a voicemail, crying and asking why I'm divorcing mom and if I'm leaving the family. It broke my heart. I haven't responded because I don't know what to say. My mother-in-law is demanding I return home and apologize to my wife. My parents, who are also traditional, seem to be siding with my wife. I feel like I might be wrong for jumping straight to divorce without hearing her out. Besides this job drama, I love my wife and don't want this to end our otherwise perfect marriage. But I also feel like I've lost trust in her. Should I swallow my pride and let my wife stay at home, or should I follow through on divorcing her? How should I navigate this situation? Update. I need to add a few crucial details I missed in my original post. I suffer from a genetic heart condition that puts me at risk for stress-induced cardiac arrest. Nearly a decade ago, I had to cut down on work after a silent heart attack. Since then, I've focused on my physical and mental well-being. Some people didn't understand why working the extra 20% was such an issue for me. I honestly don't know how much time I have left, and my kids are the most important things in my life. For my mental health, it's essential that I spend time with my kids throughout the week. Besides my wife and kids, I have nothing. I hate my job and only continue for their sake. After spending a day at my parents' house, I felt enough time had passed for me to gather my thoughts. What she did felt like the ultimate slap in the face, but I went back intending to resolve this without escalating the nightmare. My wife seemed happy I returned but wasn't apologetic. The kids, especially my son, were ecstatic, which made me temporarily ignore her lack of remorse. That night, after putting the kids to bed, I told her we needed a serious discussion. I told her how I felt about everything. She knows about my health condition and still went through with it. I set clear boundaries, and she chose to quit her job without my consent. She told my son I was going to abandon the family, which felt like a stab in the back. Throughout all this, she didn't seem remorseful once. She chose her happiness over mine, despite my sacrifices. Now, with a third of our family income gone, we have to make major lifestyle changes. For a moment, I saw sadness in her eyes before she went back to being annoyed. I then asked her to explain her side. She felt ignored by my constant rejections of her proposal. She believed she had worked long enough and it was time for her to enjoy life as a true wife. She said I was being a baby about spending extra time with the kids, which really pissed me off. We ended up having a heated argument, and I slept in the guest room. Until yesterday, nothing changed. She tried to play everything off and embrace her new role by constantly trying to have sex with me and making my favorite dishes. It felt like manipulation, and I wasn't having it. I kept sleeping in the guest room. Yesterday was my birthday. After work, my wife and kids picked me up, and we had dinner together. It was the first time I genuinely smiled in a week. That smile vanished when she tried to seduce me again that night. I rejected her, and to my surprise, she had a full-on mental breakdown. I held her as she started apologizing, claiming she didn't understand how much she hurt me. She said she was sorry for making me feel like an afterthought. We ended up sleeping in the same bed. I felt like things were finally moving in the right direction and asked her about searching for a new job today. Instead of getting mad, she just replied, "I need to think about it." That's where things stand today. It feels like progress is being made, but I'm worried it might be another manipulation tactic. How would you move forward in this situation? Could I have done something better?